Blessings, everyone. Are you being led by your feelings and emotions or by the Holy Spirit? I have come across many Christians who live still through their emotions. They feel guilty. They allow other people to manipulate them emotionally, especially when it comes to their close family members, because they want to please them. They don't want to lose their love. They're afraid that if they don't give them what they want, they're going to reject them, they're going to be angry at them, and so on and so forth. But that's not the way of the Spirit. Jesus is always our forerunner. Jesus is the one that we have to consult in every area of our life. So how was Jesus dealing with people who tried to manipulate him? Did he comply? Did he change who he was in order to please everybody? No, he never did that. He remained faithful to who he was. He remained faithful to the Father, unchangeable, unshakable. If people didn't want to follow him for whatever reason, because Jesus was very adamant about the conditions to follow him. You had to deny your father and mother, deny yourself, couldn't love anybody more than him, deny the lusts of the flesh and the world, and so on and so forth. There are conditions to following him. Otherwise, you can't be his disciple. But in the case of the rich young ruler, for example, who wasn't able to give up his fortune in order to follow Jesus because he loved money more than anything else, Jesus said, fine. I mean, he was sad for the kid because he knew he was going astray and he was going to be doomed to hell. But he didn't compromise. He didn't try to soften the conditions and say, oh, okay, well, you can keep your money and still come with us. No, there are no compromises with God. It's black or white. It's radical. And if you're not able to sever those things from your life, well, then forget it. Don't even try to be a Christian and walk the narrow way. You're not going to make it because it's not according to your own understanding or your own interpretation of how you can follow Jesus. You can't say, I'm going to follow him in these things, but oh no, I could never deny my family. I love my children more than anything in the world. They're my life. They're my, well, then don't expect to be accepted in the kingdom because you're holding on to the wrong things. And I see how many are being, troubled in their emotion. They feel, like I said, they feel guilty because they didn't do what their children wanted them to do, and then their children rebel against them. Say, you don't love me because, if you love me, you would give me this and whatever. Please, we're not there anymore. If you are still in that pattern of a relationship, are you born again? As a parent, it's your responsibility and duty to teach your children not to have those behaviors, to be very strict with them when it comes to that. No is no, and yes is yes, and it's when I decide that you can or cannot. But most parents, they allow their children to boss them. Why? Because they live through their emotions and feelings. They have not overcome the flesh. The flesh will always fight against the spirit, my friend. But we have to put it to death all day long. All day long we have to put the flesh to death, so that we can live in the spirit, so that the spirit can take more and more room in our hearts, in our minds, and renewing our mind continuously to the way of the spirit. Otherwise, you remain a carnal or soulish Christian. But if you want to be a spiritual, if you want to live in the total fullness of the kingdom and reap its righteousness, its joy, its peace, you're going to have to surpass your emotions. Jesus never lived through his emotions. Never. He had them, but he didn't allow them to control him. Think about that, my friends, and ask yourself, who is leading me? What is leading me? Why am I doing what I'm doing? What is the motive? Why do I give in? Who am I listening to? Don't forget, the enemy is a great manipulator, if anything. And he's going to use your children. He's going to use members of your family to bring you down. Don't worry, your child is not going to be sick or die if you tell them, no, you can't have this. And if they throw a tantrum and run in their room or break something, fine. They have to learn through discipline, and that they cannot have whatever they want whenever they want it. And you should not love them more than you love God. Be careful. Don't be led by your emotions. Seek to be led by the Holy Spirit. God bless.